Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, hi, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
They can't respond, but that's okay, because
Hello?
this is Clash of the Comics.
Yes, we pin some of your favorite superheroes and supervillains against each other in a fight to the death.
To the death. I'm Max,
I'm David.
and we are self-proclaimed comic book experts,
Yeah, very.
more or less.
Yeah,
Not really.
I don't know anything about comics.
It's okay. I'm here to guide you, my child.
Yes, thank you very much.
So basically, the gist of the show is we have a whole roster set up. Each episode, we come up with a new roster of similarly powered superheroes. That way, it's more of a fair fight. And we have them kill each other for our amusement because we are sadistic freaks.
And this is our first episode, and this is we've done episodes in the past, but this is the first one that's actually going to be on YouTube. I definitely want this to try and go somewhere really big. I want this to grow. I really do. And so we decided to do a roster today of like one of my favorite supervillains of all time, and that is the Symbiotes. So we are definitely going to do that. We do have did we explain the White Room?
I don't believe we did. The White Room.
So the White Room is essentially a room that is just completely enclosed, and it has nothing in it.
Right.
It's just a room that spans over miles, and it's where we put the two in there to fight, and it's to make the fights fair, more or less. Because if we put them in some areas, some superheroes or supervillains will have advantages, like Swamp Thing, for example, will have more of an advantage if he's near a swamp. Right. So we use the White Room. We're actually just two college students that use the WMCC Pulse's equipment. Shout out to them. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We do also host our own radio show here, which is still Clash of the Comics. So you might hear us be called DJ Soup Spoon.
And DJ Stone Fox.
So we will have different names for that. But I will try to upload a video at least once a week because that's usually when we do our videos. That's usually when we do our shows. And, we're just two kids that are just interested in doing a little podcast about superheroes and then talking about it afterwards.
So hopefully this works.
Yeah, no.
Hopefully everything sounds great.
I really do. Yeah, we've done a couple tests. I think I've perfected it pretty well now, up to a point where I've been able to figure out how to kind of at least record the audio. I mean, editing it is a completely different story, but I've been able to kind of figure it out, and hopefully, YouTube guides me. They're able to build houses. Have you seen that?
Really?
Yeah, there was a family that was able to build a house out of just YouTube tutorials. It's like a Facebook link.
How does that work?
They just watched the YouTube tutorial.
Oh, I see. They built a house.
Correct.
Okay, I thought they literally built the house out of YouTube tutorials.
No.
And that threw me off completely.
That's how they guided. Like, the YouTube tutorials guided them into making the house.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Nice. It is so funny. I don't know if it actually worked. I never actually saw the end result. So maybe.
But hopefully it stayed in one piece.
I mean, it could have just been like a really crappy house. I don't even know. It's just a picture of a white family in front of a house. For all I know, it's just like this staple of like some realtor's like handbook of just like
Google the American dream, and that's what you get.
Yeah. Like this could be you
photo.
if you buy a house, but and then the refugees are looking at it and they're just like, I wish I could buy this house.
Whoops.
So yeah, we're gonna get started. So we are definitely doing Symbiotes. So what we're going to do is we have a little bucket here, and we have the names in it. So that way it could be really random. I'm going to go ahead and just pick the first name. This is round one.
Yes.
Okay, here's my paper. There you go.
Thank you very much. So first off, we have
Carnage.
Versus, oh man, right off the bat, the BS pick.
Is it really?
Yes. So
all right.
Here's a little bit of information about that. Every episode, we're going to have a BS pick, 1, to speed things up, and 2, because it's hilarious to just see actual people with actual powers beat up people without actual powers. Usually the BS pick will not be a legit superhero or supervillain per se, but somebody who tries to be or has some sort of power that's not actually that great, or just a character that's universally hated by everybody. So in this situation, I tried looking up aliens, and I couldn't really find any aliens that were bad enough to be the BS pick. Then I tried looking at people who have been taken over by the symbiote, like even Howard the Duck or Rocket Raccoon were taken over by symbiotes at one point, but they were really cool and too powerful to be the BS pick. So David gave me the ingenious idea.
Yeah, so I figured we use Topher Grace from the Spider-Man 3 Sam Raimi movies.
And no, not Eddie Brock from Spider-Man 3.
No.
Venom from Spider-Man 3.
Nope.
The actor who played him.
Yes, Topher Grace himself, because he is technically in the Spider-Man 3 movie comic, even though He's still technically Eddie Brock, but you know what? We're just gonna say that he's between you and me. We're just gonna say that he's Topher Grace.
So I think we speak for all comic book fans everywhere that pitting actual comic Venom against Topher Grace is a pretty fitting.
Yeah, no, I
pretty
think
fitting fight.
I think it works out. I think this is gonna be good. So I'll read Carnage's. So what we do is we
You're
read
doing
the.
Venom, isn't it?
Huh?
You said you picked Venom, didn't you?
No, I said Carnage.
Oh, well, either way.
Yeah. So I'm the what is that? His son or brother?
Yeah, Carnage is the
Son?
son or daughter, depending.
Yeah, it depends.
Of Venom.
So yeah, what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna read the powers for Carnage. That's what we do. We read the powers of the superhero that we're choosing. Carnage has all the powers of Spider-Man. So essentially, he has like superhuman strength. He can wall crawl. He can web swing. You know, the basic stuff. All of these symbiotes have the basic powers of Spider-Man, because that's how the symbiote essentially learned what its purpose was or like how it gained its powers originally, just from Spider-Man. And then there was like some genetic. What did they call it? Genetic memory, where like if a symbiote touches another symbiote, then they learn it. So it's like that's how the symbiote's powers actually existed. Is because of Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, you have created a terrible, terrible villain.
A very long family tree of terrible villains.
Yeah, seriously, like, geez, I love him though. All right, so we're gonna do Carnage. He has all the powers of Spider-Man. He can see out of every bit of his symbiote. So if he wanted to see out of his ass, he could do it.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you try to
He could
sneak
do
up
it.
behind him.
Right,
he's
or
like,
if you've
"Oh,
got like a
look."
foot or something, you could see out of his big toe or his little toe.
Does he have? I don't think he has toes, per se.
I don't know. They're probably just melded
tendrils.
together.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they probably are. And then we've got a healing factor. So all of the symbiotes have a healing factor. Essentially what that means is that the host is on the inside, and the symbiote is essentially just there. If you cut off a symbiote's arm, it'll regrow. But the healing factor kind of like explains it as it'll regrow the arm back, but it's kind of iffy as to whether or not the human host in the inside also loses that arm. But we're going to say that he probably does. So it regrows the human host's arm on the inside, but it also regrows itself. I mean, it's kind of weird how it regrows, I guess you could say.
It's comic book science.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
I
it.
don't know.
I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, so like I would say that. And then what else is there? He can wall crawl, because Venom can't wall crawl, so he just kind of like grabs onto stuff, but Carnage can physically wall crawl onto stuff. He has constituent matter generation. So essentially that means that he could like generate symbiote, like the alien symbiote inside another human being. So if I was Carnage and I was fighting Topher Grace, I could theoretically get the symbiote to go inside of Topher Grace and then just explode from the inside. What else was there? He also is immune to Spider-Man, Spider-Sense. They all essentially have that ability, so there's really no point in mentioning it a whole lot, just because Spider-Man isn't really facing them, but they do have the immunity to Spider-Man, Spider-Sense.
Right.
He also has like other abilities where he can use his tentacles and he can like lash out and do certain stuff. He can grow and stretch. Essentially everything that you've seen in the comics he can do. Carnage is pretty well known. I feel like a lot of people do know this. I didn't really feel like having to write every single thing that he did,
Right.
even though we did for a lot of these other ones. Like Anti-Venom's is really long, but it's just not. Yeah, I know.
It's not worth it.
Now that we're looking at it, it's like, wow, we did.
Like, these guys have a
really
long list of powers.
Yeah, and they're all pretty much the same. I mean, the symbiote just does what it does. It stretches in strengths. It's got tentacles. It's got teeth on the tentacles. It can really. It's like an octopus. Or like
with
a squid.
more teeth.
Right, and
Yeah.
with more teeth, and it can stretch farther.
And heal and
Yes,
poison.
and he has Spider-Man's powers. So why don't you
ESP.
go ahead and read Topher Grace?
Topher Grace is an actor.
Great. He is a human being.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Carnage has killed multiple human beings in the past.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I
Yes.
feel like he's eaten them.
Now, keep in mind, though, we're not saying anything against Topher Grace. Topher Grace is a good actor.
No, I love
Love
Topher
that
Grace.
70s show.
I mean, even that bad movie. What was it called? Take me home.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it was a movie that was set in the 80s. Topher Grace's father's essentially a cop, so he gets away with a lot of stuff. Actually, at one point, spoiler alert, him and his buddy do like a bunch of coke, and they drive along the freeway, and then they crash.
Oh.
So his father comes to pick them up, and he realizes that it's his son, so he just tells his buddy cop, all right, you can go. Just leave them. All right, Topher, you need to get your crap together.
Wow.
Yeah, like he essentially gets away with driving under the influence. It's ridiculous.
And that was a bad movie?
No, I mean it wasn't terrible, but like it wasn't very entertaining to watch. I probably would not watch it again. I mean, Topher's great in it. I mean, Topher really knows how to play like a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's really
like
good at
that, like innocent kind of not really
like Tobey
knowing the
Maguire.
world.
Tobey Maguire
Right.
is also really great
Yeah.
at doing that. And I think that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, they picked a pretty decent actor for both characters. It's just
What they did with them was
yeah,
the
what
problem.
what happened. I mean, the Sandman's actor was really good too.
Yeah, I think
I
the
liked him.
actors were good. It's
Yeah.
just
Well,
the
maybe
situation
Topher
they were
was
put
a
in.
little. Topher was a little weird of
Yeah.
a choice, but yeah, I mean, Tobey was fine. Topher, Sandman was fine. Who else was there? James Franco. He was always a very interesting actor
Yeah.
to pick because he was so like, he was doing like so many things at the time. I'm really surprised that he even did the movie.
Right. Although now it's even weirder because like all he does is like stoner comedies with
Yeah,
Seth Rogen.
I know. I don't quite understand that
It's
either.
kind of funny how I made that transition.
Well, now he's in a war movie.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in like some sort of war movie with a bunch of other different actors.
Wow.
Which is really
there are other
funny.
actors in the movie.
All right, so
Sorry.
let's see who wins this. I'm gonna say Carnage.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Carnage literally just devours Topher Grace.
Yep.
And yeah,
Topher's like, "What am I doing here? How did I get here?" Carnage is like, "I'm gonna eat you," and then he's like, "You're real," and then he dies.
wow. So yeah, Topher Grace is dead. Everybody.
All right, great. So
We
we're
did it.
gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. If you could
Thanks,
grab
Sam
the bucket.
Raimi. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot out of the bucket. All right.
Thank you, Sam
First
Raimi.
up, we
Alright, so
have
we've got
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom. Okay. And then we've got Scream.
Ooh. Like the guy with the mask and the knife from those Wes
Yeah.
Craven movies.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. No, it's not. She's a symbiote. There've been a couple female symbiotes. One of them was in control of Carnage for a while, and then those ones don't really matter though. Scream is like the most notable of the female symbiotes.
So hang on. So who are you reading?
Oh, who did I pick? I picked Anti-Venom. Do you want me to take Anti-Venom?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay. Anti-Venom is... Oh, he starts over here. Anti-Venom has all the powers of Spider-Man, for the same reasons that Venom and Carnage do. Healing factor, genetic memory, offspring detection, wall crawling, webbing, symbiote rejection, impurity sense, internal body cleansing, immunity to fire, and sonic immunity, which probably won't come in handy in this battle, but that's notable because all of the other symbiotes...
We'll go over that once you're done reading it.
Oh, I guess you're right. Sonic immunity, stretch, and matter generation.
Yeah, that's the constituent matter regeneration.
Right. I remember.
So, and then we've got, who was the other one? Scream. Scream is all the powers of Spider-Man, the healing factor. She has a spider sense. They all can camouflage, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Anti-Venom cannot. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Some of them can.
But he can sense
Camouflage, matter generation, matter manipulation, and sound manipulation. So let's talk about Anti-Venom real quick. So the thing is with him, he was essentially Eddie Brock, but he had gotten separated from the symbiote. And so there were still bits and pieces of the symbiote still inside Eddie Brock's body. So then he developed cancer. It's actually kind of like a similar story to Deadpool, at least the movie. And then he developed cancer, and so he went to the science lab in order to try and find a cure for it. And in the process of that, it actually awoke his symbiote cells that were inside his body, and then he was trapped inside of the symbiote again, except the colors are inverted. He's white with black eyes.
Almost like the opposite of Venom. Anti-Venom, if you
Exactly,
will.
Exactly.
Aha.
So, but essentially it's still Venom. I never quite understood the name.
Well, I think because it was... I think they, at one point, tried to use Anti-Venom as a countermeasure for Venom.
Right.
Like, after this whole event happened.
Right.
That didn't really go through, though.
Right. So we'll kind of explain some of the powers. Genetic memory. So we'll go with that. Genetic memory is essentially if the symbiote, like Venom, for example, is able to understand, like he got his powers from Spider-Man because he fused with Spider-Man, and that's how that began. And then Anti-Venom, what he can do is he can actually just touch one of the other symbiotes and immediately gain all of their powers. So, like, if the symbiote was grafted onto another human or something, or a superhero, and they got powers from that, Anti-Venom could just touch that and then also gain those powers.
Which is crazy.
Right, so that's genetic memory. Offspring detection. These symbiotes are all related in a way, which is kind of interesting. I don't understand that.
Yeah, if
too
you look
much.
at any of their like wiki pages, it says
It's
family
a
tree, and
long-
it's
yeah.
just a huge
It's
list
a long
of all
list.
these symbiotes.
And so offspring detection is essentially they can sense when another one is nearby. Wall crawling, webbing, symbiote rejection. So essentially that is if another symbiote tried to take over Anti-Venom, it wouldn't work.
Right.
What else is there? Symbiote rejection. Impurity sense. He can't be poisoned. Internal body cleansing. If the host was poisoned, he would immediately be cured.
Yeah, like he can actually do that to other people too. Like he once cured a girl of her heroin addiction by just
really?
cleaning out her entire blood system.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Then we've got, I'm going to skip those two. He can stretch, and he can do matter generation, which is essentially what I explained with Carnage and Topher. So now, the thing about anti-venom, now the main way to get rid of the symbiotes, to destroy them, to kill them, and even they did this actually they proved this in the Sam Raimi movies too.
Yeah.
If you burn it, or if you use sonic sounds, like high-pitched sounds, in order to separate it from its host, and then you burn it then. That's how the Sam Raimi movies did it. Now, the thing about anti-venom is that he becomes very hard to kill because he's actually immune to fire and immune to the sonic abilities.
Right, which would be the normal weaknesses for literally all of these other symbiotes.
Right, so the only way that they were able to kill him in the comics is that Norman Osborn and another fellow had to create a chemical in order to actually kill it.
Right.
Which was very interesting.
They had to Iron Man 2 that, just create a whole new...
Yeah, they
whatever.
really did. Oh my god, Iron Man 2. So, Scream, she is an alien. That's pretty much, she's a woman alien. She has camouflage, matter generation, matter manipulation, sound manipulation. So she could actually, she could scream.
Yeah,
but the problem is
the
that,
unfortunate thing is that he's literally like, that's cool.
Yeah, she got paired with somebody who literally is immune to it. So let's discuss the fight now that we've explained the powers.
Right.
The sound manipulation.
That'd be your first go-to thing,
right?
And then that just doesn't do anything.
Exactly,
which is unfortunate because that would work on any of these other symbiotes, or at least hold them back for a bit. But in this case, since sound vibrations don't actually affect him in the same way as it does the others, he would just walk it off and shrug it. Just no, it doesn't affect me. Sorry, and then go in for the kill.
Okay, so the sound manipulation doesn't work. I have to look at the powers here. She can't generate fire, but that doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
She can't poison him. She can camouflage.
Offspring detection, as well as didn't he have something else that helped him?
Well, okay, so let's go through it. So she has a camouflage ability, but the thing about anti-venom is that he has genetic detection, or sorry, what is it called? Offspring detection. So even if she camouflages into white, he can still find her.
Right.
Now, it essentially just goes down to brass taxes of who could beat the other one senseless before the other would die.
I think anti-venom would probably take the cake in this case.
The problem is that Scream does have kind of a short list here of powers, whereas he has a little bit more. I mean, they kind of have the same. I mean, the only difference is the symbiote rejection. So her symbiote wouldn't be able to eat his symbiote because he has the ability to reject it.
Right.
So I would say that in the fight here, I mean, Eddie Brock is very experienced with being Venom.
Yes.
I don't really know how old Scream is. Probably should have looked into that. But anti-venom is very strong.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I would agree that anti-venom would take the cake here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and said
I'm saying anti-venom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Scream. Here's
yes,
the
I'll
loser.
take the loser.
Okay.
Because I always take the losers. It's okay.
Okay, you want the winners?
No, I don't want the winners.
Okay, fine.
Can't break the system now. We've already started.
Now I gotta write it down. Hang on.
Take your time. This episode brought to you by WMCC The Pulse, where we're still working on our catchphrase and slogan.
Where the beat don't stop. Is that it?
Well,
no,
that's our current one, but we're working on changing it.
What was the old one?
Music Runs in Our Blood is the one that we're trying to change it to.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Really? I kind of like it because you can fit into any genre.
Nah, it's kind of cringy, fam.
Cringy?
That is cringy.
Ooh.
Music runs in our blood.
Yeah. Because think about it. Like, it can fit into, like, R&B. It can fit into disco. It can fit into rock.
So could the beat
metal.
don't stop.
Nah, but, like, the beat don't...
I mean, the catchphrases both work. It's just that I think that one of them just sounds really cringy. But, I mean, this is kind of like... It's kind of hard to come up with a catchphrase that isn't really cringy. As far as MCC goes, I mean, I bet RIT has like a really cool catchphrase for it.
Well, what's their radio station name? Do you know?
I don't know. But it actually is on a frequency.
Right, yeah. They actually have like a radio station.
They get a radio frequency.
But wait, you guys don't? Then how are we supposed to listen to you? Good question. You can check out WMCC The Pulse on the TuneIn app. but we are still under the Fuse because that's our old name, and we don't know how to change it.
Yeah, I can leave I can leave links in the description. I'll leave it also on my Twitter. I'll be sure to leave a lot of links so that you guys can familiarize yourselves with us, and I'll be able to promote this. But yeah, I mean, we have our own Twitters. You can definitely listen live, and we actually have a phone number that you can text to. We'll give out that. I'll leave all that kind of stuff in the description. Well, maybe not the phone number, because you guys might just start texting weird crap.
We don't trust you guys. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll announce it on air. That way, it's not technically just out there, written down.
I think it's still out there though. They can just replay the video and listen to the phone number.
I'd like to think it works.
Once they hear it once, it's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a pretty decent lineup of people left. I'm sad that the BS pick is already gone though. I like feeding off of that build-up, of like all these awesome fights, all these powers that are listed off, all these interesting situations, and then suddenly it's like, oh, Howard the Duck versus God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of see what you mean, but in the end, anyway, the BS pick is that. It is the BS pick.
Right. It's not supposed to go far anyway.
Yeah, we have to accept it. I'm glad that we kind of got it out of the way. All right, so we're gonna do our next round.
Yes.
We go until all the names. We have 8 names?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 8 names, so we have 3 rounds. I picked Venom.
Your favorite, and I have Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's essentially the same Venom, right? Because after he left Eddie, didn't he go to Flash?
Yeah, it's the same symbiote, but Flash was able to utilize it better.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going now.
Oh no, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure Venom still takes the cake on this, but we'll have to discuss it because that is the point of the show. We discuss.
All right, so I'll read Venom's powers. All right, he has all the powers of Spider-Man because he was the first person that he grafted to when he came down to Earth anyway. Well, more or less. I mean, it depends on. Well, okay, he ate some people first. Anyway, he has camouflage. He has the ability to defend himself automatically and at the current time, and then he has a healing factor, yes. Undetectable by Spider-Man Spider Sense. That was really big in the comics. He also has offspring detection, constituent matter generation. He has poisonous fangs, and he can stretch. He can grow in size, things like that. He feeds off of people, things like that. So that's all for Venom.
Yes.
And if you can go ahead and read Agent.
Way ahead of you. Agent Venom is an expert hand-to-hand combatant due to his previous war experience. He is a trained marksman. He has all the powers of Spider-Man. Shocker. Oh, wait, that's a different Spider-Man villain.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Electro.
Yeah, right. Mysterio. Immunity to spider sense, camouflage, shapeshifting. He can create armor by absorbing parts of other armor and putting it into a symbiote. Don't ask, it's comic book science. I'm not worried. And he is equipped with a custom-made multi-gun, a weapon that can act as an automatic rifle as well as a super-powered sniper rifle.
Yeah, so let's talk about Flash.
Yes.
So what happened with Flash?
Basically, he used to be the main bully in Peter Parker's life back when he was in high school. Then after the years went on, he ended up fighting in the Vietnam War, which of course later on changed to just being some overseas conflict because timelines and history and whatever.
Wait, hang on. Vietnam War?
Yeah. Well, in the original comics, he fought in the Vietnam War, but then
Flash Thompson?
Yeah, he went to Nam, man.
How old is this?
Though this is from a while ago. That's what I'm saying. And then eventually they changed it so it's just some overseas military conflict.
Oh. How old is the Spider-Man comics?
Very. I want to say this
Flash
started
went to Vietnam?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Straight out of high school.
I hated him.
Yeah, but now he's a war hero. And he lost his legs in the war.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, so he's a war hero.
Yeah. One thing led to another. He ended up coming in contact with the symbiote, previously known as Venom. And he was able to utilize and harness his abilities through some comic book science means. Don't worry about it.
Sheer willpower.
Sheer willpower. Yes, we're going all Green Lantern here. Sheer willpower. And so now he works as an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. and has been a part of several groups such as the Thunderbolts and I think not Fantastic Four, but it was like the Final Four or something. I don't know. I'll have to look into it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of...
He's basically like a Punisher / Nick Fury version of Venom.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see here. All right, so let's talk about the fight then. So his multi-gun
guns haven't really been known to help in fights against symbiotes.
Well,
So while the gun's powerful,
they do damage them, just not as effectively as people would like to think.
Yeah. So like you can shoot at him, and then he'd go all like T-1000 on you and just morph right back to wherever he was.
So he has a sniper rifle. All right, so let's say, I mean, weapons are also kind of weird with the White Room as well. Like sometimes we give the characters the ability to use weapons. In this sense, I think it's okay.
Yeah, we usually give them their standard equipment.
Yeah.
So like Wolverine's claws are obviously standard equipment, but like
Well,
he used to carry around a sword that negates healing
no.
factors
Well,
and
hang
like
on,
that
hang on,
whole
hang on.
thing.
The X-Men swords, or sorry,
Carbonated.
Wolverine's claws are a little bit
Okay, you're right.
Different.
That's a part of him.
That's
you're
a
right.
part. You-
Bad
that's kind of
example.
hard
But
to take
like
away.
Captain America's shield is
Yeah.
his standard weapon.
Yeah, it's a standard
but
weapon.
Wolverine used a healing factor negating sword once, but like
No,
that's
too much.
like a one-time
Like
thing.
if he's using it against Deadpool, it's like, or if Deadpool's using it against, it was like, oh well, one time in one comic he had it.
Right.
It's like,
So
it's
yes, he
kind of,
had it.
It's kind of unfair.
Yeah. Actually, while we're talking about superheroes fighting each other, the death battles on YouTube, that was the one argument I didn't like, was the fact that they let Deadpool use the carbonadium swords, which he doesn't always use.
Wait, what do you mean?
In the death battle between Deathstroke and Deadpool
What death battle?
on YouTube. With you ever see the death battles? Really?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah, no idea.
Wow, I'm shocked. Rooster Teeth does it.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
You watch Rooster Teeth?
I not usually, but sometimes their death battles are really interesting.
Interesting.
They did like Rogue and Wonder Woman. I think
Never
they
heard
did
of those.
a Transformer versus a My Little Pony. I forget which characters they were.
Watch our show though.
Yes, don't worry about their show. Our show is in the process of being better.
But you like us.
Yes, of course you like us.
Hypnotoad.
Hypnotoad.
Yeah,
That's my Hypnotoad impression.
I've never heard of that before. No.
Alright, well, it's okay. Nobody else has, especially anyone listening to this right now.
Exactly.
Anyway,
So yeah, we've got Venom versus Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, let's go back to our fights. So he's a trained fighter and marksman. Venom's
So he can shapeshift. Hang
Eddie
on,
Brock.
let's talk about Agent Venom real quick. Can he like stretch?
Honestly, for the most part, the symbiote only helps him with his strength, speed, other superhuman,
So it makes him
traits.
invincible as a human.
Yeah, like it basically just heightens his overall powers. He doesn't web swing or stick to walls or shapeshift. I mean, he can't shapeshift, but he doesn't usually do it. The shapeshifting.
So he actually doesn't have all the powers of Spider-Man. He only has like his superhuman strength, speed, and agility.
Oh, I forgot about that. So he does web swing. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. I was thinking like just regular Flash for some reason. So
Well, we can. I thought that he did. Does he not?
well, he does. He does web swing. He does stick to walls.
Okay.
I'm basically negating everything I just said because I'm an idiot.
Okay. So yeah, then let's. Okay, so he doesn't have the ability to. He has the ability to shapeshift,
Okay.
but he doesn't have the ability to stretch.
Yes, I figured out what I was trying to say. He has the same powers as Spider-Man, but it's not enhanced at all through the symbiote. So he's given
Right.
those powers through the symbiote,
Yes.
but it's not
'Cause
like
the symbiote-
giant tentacles.
Yeah, because
from
the
Venom.
symbiote grafted to Spider-Man, and that's how it gained its powers, and then Flash is just feeding off of that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so and then you got Venom himself, where he is able to actually he can make matter. He's got constituent matter generation. He also has poisonous fangs. His fangs, when he bites people, they do sting, and they do actually slowly kill his victims.
Exactly.
He has the ability to defend himself. So the sniper kind of doesn't really help out a whole lot here. I mean, it might take off chunks of him to slow him down, but it doesn't
Eventually, he's gonna
stop
get
him.
to him though.
Yeah, exactly. He is able to stretch, so he's able to actually reach long range. So let's say the fight is like Flash Thompson camps out on the other side of the room to be able to snipe.
Campers.
Hang on, did we write that down? Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, he camps out on the other side. He starts sniping him. Venom's slowed down, but he's still chasing him, running after him, and then Venom gets up close enough. Well, even from a distance. So Venom gets up to a pretty decent distance where he can still reach him. So he stretches and starts attacking him that way, brings him closer, gets in closer. Then Flash uses his expert hand-to-hand combat to kind of defend himself a little bit. But Venom's bigger. He's able to kind of defend himself. So he takes the punches, he takes the bullets.
It's also more animalistic too.
Yeah.
'Cause,
It is.
If you ever try getting
yeah.
in a fight with a dog, like a fist fight with a
Yeah.
dog, they
Well,
don't do karate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Venom is very
It's a
animalistic.
bigger dog.
But he can stand on two legs, and he can he can destroy.
Yeah,
he
that's what
can
I'm saying.
tear
It's just
things
it's
apart.
wild though. He's just
Oh, yeah.
throwing claws and teeth
It's
and
kind
tongue.
of similar
yes,
to
tongue.
Wolverine, but a lot more animalistic.
Yes.
So because he doesn't even have like the brain power in order to think
Right.
as Venom really. Beats him up, tears him apart. I think that Venom definitely would win here.
I'm saying that too.
Yeah,
I
I think that Agent Venom is just a little bit too underpowered here. He's just it's just Flash Thompson with heightened senses and the ability to do like wall crawl and
Right.
stuff.
Because like he can heal a little bit, but not to the extreme of a literal healing factor. You know what I mean? So he tears him apart, and then that's it. That's all for Agent Venom.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Venom wins.
All right, great.
All right, so
So I have I
yes,
have
you already
one.
have Venom. Okay.
Go ahead and
next fight.
Yep.
Oh wait, forgot
Is
we have
it-
2 more left.
Yeah, we have 2 more.
Yeah, I did the math wrong on that. First off, we have
Because we haven't done hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah. And then we have Toxin.
yes, Hybrid is an electric car. No, I'm kidding. God,
He's a Prius.
we literally just put a Prius in against who are we fighting? Toxin. Okay, so Hybrid has all the powers of Spider-Man. Woo. Matter manipulation, camouflage. He can detach his symbiote into pieces to send messages, so it's like a really gross way of sending texts. He can shape his symbiote to form a membrane that allows him to glide through the air, and he can absorb chemicals.
I don't remember that one. Did you add that one?
Yeah, I said I added that to Hybrid
Oh, okay.
because I looked into that a little bit more, and I figured that's kind of cool because now these other people can glide. They can jump and like swing
But
and
he can
run.
glide.
He can glide.
Can he web swing and wall crawl?
All the powers of Spider-Man.
I'm just double checking.
Yes.
Okay. And then we've got, who was the other one? Toxin.
Yes.
All the powers of Spider-Man. He actually has spider sense. He's also immune to spider sense. He has constituent matter generation, constituent matter manipulation. He has poisonous fangs, just like Venom. He can wall crawl. He has tracking, which is essentially, yeah. I mean, he can just track anyone.
Right.
As soon as he picks up the scent of somebody that he wants to kill, he'll be able to. It's not just the symbiotes. He can track anybody. He's like a bloodhound, but like turned up.
Mm.
And he has genetic memory as well. So if he touches somebody, he's gonna gain their powers. So let's
fight.
yes, let's fight. Yes. What do we got here? So Toxin has constituent matter manipulation and generation, but so does Hybrid. Hybrid has manipulation. He doesn't have generation though. Hybrid can detach pieces. So the detaching pieces to send messages doesn't really help here.
Yeah, he's just like, please don't hurt me. And then Toxin's just like, too bad. I'm literally here to kill you. That's why we're here. And then they start killing each other. Now, the gliding. I don't think that's going to necessarily help in the situation.
Yeah, I think that the gliding is more or less for travel means.
Yeah, it's not necessarily for attacks. And anything else that he can do, he could just jump or swing.
So Toxin has spider sense.
Yes.
So he's actually able to predict how Hybrid is going to attack.
Right.
It physically tells him. So the problem here is that Hybrid can fight all he wants, but as long as Toxin can keep up, he's going to be able to dodge everything.
Right.
So they both stretch and try to attack each other, but in the end, Toxin is just a little bit more powerful. Hybrid can absorb chemicals, so he'll be able to absorb the poisonous fangs, so that necessarily won't kill him. He has genetic memory, so he'll gain all of those powers. He has the spider sense, the durability. I mean, and then so does Hybrid. I mean, Hybrid has matter manipulation. He has camouflage, but Toxin will be able to track him. Yeah, I think Toxin is just the bigger man here.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe too. No matter what, I think Hybrid is gonna swing and crawl and climb and try to glide away from him, but Toxin's just gonna tear him apart. So yeah, Toxin. Yeah, I think Toxin just takes the cake for this one. Also, I just I think it's funny because Toxin is as far as I can go with the family tree before getting completely lost. I just want to point that out. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
Because the family tree is crazy. Like all these symbiotes are related in some weird way, but then sometimes it's like, oh, Carnage is this person's brother, but wait, this person's sister, and then this person, like, it's weird.
I think Carnage is just a sibling, and for some reason they need to genderize it.
Right.
But, like, you just can't. They're symbiotes.
They're aliens. They're not
Yeah.
technically genderized.
Maybe they do mate. I don't know. How are they created?
I mean, the way that all these things come from is just multiplying. So like Venom just splits off a little bit, becomes Carnage, and then that little bit of him like mutates into Carnage. Then
So is it like?
then those two
Is it like
fuse-
bacteria?
Yeah, think about it
Where
like
they're like alive but not.
yeah, think about like a new disease or something.
Okay.
You got two diseases, their cells split and morph together and create toxin. So that's their son. And then like I don't know. And then Anti-Venom like stays inside Eddie Brock, like you said, and then he becomes a whole different type
Well,
of
that
symbiote.
happens with Peter too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because if you read or watch the Ultimate Spider-Man video game, the way actually Peter turns into Carnage.
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yep, he turns into Carnage, and it's because a scientist injected Peter after capturing him injecting him to awaken the cells that were actually inside of Peter, that were still there from when he had the symbiote.
Oh.
So he becomes Carnage, and then you play as Venom fighting Carnage, and then at the end, Venom takes Carnage, eats him, and then spits out Peter. And then Venom magically gains the Spider-Man symbol on his chest because throughout the entire game he didn't have it.
Oh.
Yeah, which is really interesting to me. But I guess it like shows that like Eddie Brock can now control it because then the cutscene explains that Eddie Brock can now control him now that he has the missing pieces of the symbiote that Peter had.
Oh.
And that's why Peter was always really hurt every time because when you fought Venom in the video game early on, his spider sense would actually start hurting him. Because the cells that were inside of Peter, if he was too close for Venom for too long, would start like messing with him.
Oh, really?
So it was part of the strategy in the boss fight to actually have to run away at certain points so that the spider sense wouldn't affect you. Because if you were too close for too long, Peter would just start having a seizure, and then Venom would just start attacking you.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have to like run away and plan it out. I never really cared because the boss battles really weren't that hard. But
So it's like, hey, Peter, suck it up.
yeah,
let's
that's
just
essentially
kill
it's
the
like,
thing.
oh no, he's getting hurt. Boom. Okay, now I just go back and fight him.
So yeah, Toxin wins this fight.
Yes, Toxin definitely wins this fight. We're gonna go on to round 2 now. There are only 4 people. Yeah, there's only 4
Yes.
contestants here, so we'll be able to. Let me mix
Yeah,
that up a
mix
little bit
them
better.
up a
I'm sorry.
By the way, just a little fun nod here. We are using a popcorn bucket that I got when Avengers first came out.
Yeah.
We call it the Bucket of Justice, even though it's an Avengers bucket. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
So there's the Bucket of Justice. Who'd you pick up?
I got Anti-Venom.
And I got Venom. Oh. Dave, things aren't looking good for your favorite superhero or supervillain. Okay, so Anti-Venom.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So yeah, I'm very.
I mean,
upset here.
I'm just saying the winners like in the names, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
This sucks, dude. Yeah, I mean he's got impurity. Poisonous fangs don't even.
Yeah, exactly. The
has
poisonous
symbiote-
fangs would have no effect
He
on
has
him.
symbiote rejection.
Yeah, so he can't eat them.
Gosh darn it. This sucks.
Right
I
off the
love
bat,
Venom.
I know you do.
Yeah. Venom definitely loses here.
Yeah. I think Venom is just runs up to him, starts trying to claw at him. That's not working. So he bites him, pushes out the poison. That does absolutely nothing. Tries to eat him. He can't. Because what was the word that we found that we've heard a million times in biology class, and then we never... It was like citrus, or it becomes synthetic to whatever. I don't know the word. I'm bad at science.
Synthetic?
Not synthetic. Like, it becomes like acidic or poisonous or hot to touch if like these two chemicals react.
Hang on, what are you talking about?
Okay, so remember when we looked up what happens when the Anti-Venom symbiote touches any other symbiote?
Caustic.
Caustic. There we go. Thanks, Dave.
Synthetic?
No, I said it was like synthetic. Caustic.
No, it's not
It
like...
ends in IC. It has a T in it.
Synthetic is nothing like caustic.
No, not in definition, but in word.
No.
In spelling.
Caustic, synthetic. Yeah, it's got a TIC at the end.
If my biology teacher is listening to this, I highly apologize.
Who did you have?
I don't remember.
Really?
I don't remember.
Oh, man, I loved
It
biology.
was a guy. He had like Elvis hair.
Oh, wait. I think Shayna had him, too.
I don't know his name.
What was his name? Green or something?
No, I would have remembered Green because that's like such a typical
All right, fair enough.
name
Well, I had
for a biology teacher.
I had Mr. Law. And he
That
had,
would
like,
actually that might have been it.
Was it Mr. Law?
I think it was Law. Yeah.
How do you not remember Mr. Law?
I don't remember anything.
That's such like an iconic like, oh, Mr. Law.
I would have remembered him if he was like a law and gov teacher, because I would be like, oh, Mr. Law, that's funny.
Oh my god. Do you remember your
like
law
Miss
and gov
Organic.
teacher?
I remember Miss Organic.
You didn't have her though.
No, but I'm just saying like, 'cause she was a science teacher.
Science
or whatever.
teacher.
Yeah. Oh,
We're
it's
naming
science.
teachers from when we were in high school. We went to
Yes.
Brighton High School, which is in New York.
Here's the exact address. No, okay.
I mean, you could just Google it. I think it's like 1150 South Winton.
Okay. I never cared.
Nobody's gonna care.
I don't know, dude.
You could just Google it. Yeah, Brighton High School. Very great school. I really liked it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Venom unfortunately loses.
Yeah,
here.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
actually
buddy.
get back to what we
Yeah.
were talking about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I already crossed him off. All right, so I've got anti-venom.
Yeah, anti-venom ones.
All right, give me.
Oh, here's Venom.
No. Incorrect.
What
The
do you mean?
bucket.
Oh, you want the bucket?
You got the losers.
Oh, I have
remember?
losers. You're right. I'm sorry. I keep
Yep,
forgetting that.
yep,
Now it's on
all right, we got there. There you go. All right, so
it's a
I
long
have.
process.
Did you throw it on the ground?
I dropped it on the ground.
All right, so I got Carnage.
Okay. And I got Toxin. So, Carnage. I feel like Carnage is faster and scarier.
Yeah, he's definitely faster. I mean, scarier.
Well,
That's pretty
I was like,
relative.
well, I know that's irrelevant to the fight, but I always
no,
thought Carnage
I
was
think
scary.
it's relative, not irrelevant.
I mean,
Relative meaning like it varies from different person to person.
Oh,
like
that's
it depends on your opinion.
yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so we've got
Words aren't really
Carnage.
my strong suit, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got.
Toxin.
Okay, so hang on. Let's read through these. We've
Yeah.
got. So Toxin essentially has the same kind of abilities as Carnage, except for the whole tracking. Oh, but Toxin has Spider Sense.
Yeah. As well as Poisonous
Oh.
Fangs.
But he doesn't have Symbiote Rejection, does he? No, he
No.
doesn't.
No.
But
Anti-Venom's
Carnage
the only
doesn't.
one who has that.
So Carnage, well, Toxin has Poisonous Fangs. That kind of hurts. Does it? I mean, I don't know if the Venoms actually hurt. I don't know if the poison actually hurts the other symbiotes.
I figured it would. I mean, I figured that if there's a human inside of it, the human can be affected. And unless they can push out the poison or the toxins. Because otherwise, why would Anti-Venom even need the thing for himself? The poison
That's true.
and toxin
Well, I
rejection.
figured it's because people try to kill him. But it didn't work anyway because there was a chemical that they were able to make in order to kill him.
Right. Oh, don't worry about it. Comic book
Anyway,
science.
yeah, I think that Toxin has a little bit more because Carnage has constituent matter generation, but Toxin has constituent matter manipulation. I think Carnage has that too. Doesn't he have manipulation?
No, we looked it up, and I think Toxin was the only one who had manipulation, not just generation.
Okay. So Poisonous Fangs, he has tracking. Yeah, I think that Toxin would win here because
Yeah.
he's got Spider Sense. I mean, that's what really takes the cake there.
Oh, that'd be such a cool fight.
It would be.
I'd love to just, you know what it would look like? It would look like a lava lamp, but like a really aggressive and angry lava lamp. That's the vibe I'm getting from all these fights. Just a bunch of colors, like slashing at each other in the world's most aggressive lava lamp.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be. Whoa there, bud.
I dropped the bucket, sorry.
We don't actually need to draw or anything. I'm just giving you the.
Oh, right,
yeah.
because the final fight is going to be Toxin and Anti-Venom.
Yes. So this will
So-
be a very interesting fight. We've got. I mean, Anti-Venom just has like a long list of powers. My
Like
gosh.
insanely long.
What do we got?
So we'll give Toxin his weakness. That way he can win. No, I'm kidding.
What do you
That's
mean,
his-
Toxin, his weakness?
No, we give Toxin Anti-Venom's weakness. That little serum that Norman Osborn made.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that
a-
hadn't
that's a
been
great idea.
developed yet.
Don't worry about it.
All right, so we've got.
Poisonous Fangs wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, because that he's able to impure. So Toxin, excuse me, has Poisonous Fangs, but that doesn't hurt Anti-Venom because he's got the impurity sense and internal body cleansing. Toxin is tracking. Anti-Venom also has offspring detection, so there's no use in camouflaging here. They can both stretch. But Toxin has Spider Sense, but Anti-Venom has genetic memory. Ooh. So he gains the Spider Sense ability as soon as they touch. So they both have Spider Sense. Ooh.
Which basically means Anti-Venom has the upper hand immediately.
But Toxin has matter manipulation. But
addition to
Toxin,
generation.
but Anti-Venom has symbiote rejection. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. This
So
is hard.
at this point, a lot of their powers seem to negate each other. So it would just be who can tear the other one apart the
well,
most.
hang on.
Right?
Anti-Venom has matter generation,
Right.
and Toxin doesn't have symbiote rejection. So he can generate it inside of him.
Oh, yeah, and
Just
take
fine.
him over from the inside.
Yes.
So right off the bat, or
I
not right
think-
off the bat.
Well, they would have to fight.
Right.
I mean, it would have to go on like Anti-Venom has Toxin has spider sense, so he'd be able to dodge a lot of stuff first, but
Right.
Toxin
Then
would eventually
Anti-Venom gets
touch.
it.
Exactly. Then he gets spider sense.
So they
And then
both
they dodge
fight,
for a
and then they
while.
realize fighting isn't working. So
well, then
Anti-Venom,
Toxin tries to take him over, but Anti-Venom has this symbiote rejection.
right? So that's not gonna work.
And then from there, yeah, I think that
Anti-Venom just spawns more of himself inside of
correct.
Toxin.
Yeah, I think that definitely works.
There we go.
So
So the winner of the symbiote battle is Anti-Venom, the
boom.
opposite of Venom. I mean, I guess we should have figured that. Like I said, the winner's kind of like in the name.
Anti-Venom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think that the whole point of Anti-Venom was just to be able to be immune to the typical fire in Sonic.
Right, which he is. So that might come in handy. Man, words are really bad for me today. You ever have one of those days you just
No.
can't talk? Really?
No.
You've never had one of
I'm
those
always
days?
perfect.
Oh, of course you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No, I have a lot of trouble. I work at when I work at Wegmans and I have to type in the codes, my brain just kind of just stops functioning.
I'm with you.
It's so stupid. Like I'll type the same number like 3 times, but I'll feel like I haven't typed it in right. Or if you press 2 keys at the same time, it'll be like check key sequence because it'll freak out because it doesn't know what button you're pressing. Yeah, like seriously, it's so stupid. Like if I press 2 buttons on a keyboard on a computer, it's like okay, but it'll still perform it. But like at work, if I press the 2 buttons, it just stops whatever it's doing,
Right.
and it's just like check key sequence. You're messing up here. I'm confused because the computers are like from the 90s. They're so old.
Yeah, I every time I go into Wegmans, I'm questioning like, why don't they update their computers? I feel like I'm still in 2000.
I know. I don't know why either.
You know,
We
when
still
I was 6
use
and I paid
paper.
attention.
We still use paper.
What's paper?
Paper, like grocery paper.
Oh, like paper bags.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
If a
confused.
customer asks for paper, we have to use paper,
Huh.
which is so interesting. I did not even know that we still. I don't know who else uses paper. Local grocery stores,
I've never seen it.
like in what was that movie with Johnny Depp and Leo DiCaprio, Gilbert Grape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that they used paper
Yeah, they did.
because that was just the thing that you used. I mean, even in the Simpsons opening credits, Maggie's put inside a paper bag.
The
It's
90s
just
were weird.
huh?
The 90s were weird.
Yeah,
It was a
it-
simpler time.
Well, it was just easier to recycle, but then plastic was easier to make.
So we kind of gave up being good and helpful and recycling.
Well,
To
you can
make
still
things easier for
recycle the
ourselves.
plastic bags.
Can you?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
just annoying as heck to have in the house.
Mm.
But I use paper bags for like various things. Like if I have to, like a garbage can, like
Right.
tiny garbage cans. I'm not gonna buy like the giant garbage bags just to put into my tiny garbage bin. I'm just gonna use a plastic bag that I got from buying groceries,
Right.
which is so dumb. That we still, I mean, paper is just so weird.
You know what I think is weird?
What?
We're talking about plastic versus paper on a show about comic books.
Yeah. Well, this is part of the segment where we talk usually about superhero stuff, but
We didn't really plan ahead.
yeah, we
I
kind
mean,
of
we could talk about, speaking of like Topher Grace and all the other symbiotes.
Sure.
Now, granted, by no means are we saying that we could make a good superhero movie. By no means am I saying I could
What,
make
are we
any
gonna-
improvements
No.
on Spider-Man 3.
No.
No, come on.
I don't want to talk about
Why
it.
not?
I hate that movie so much.
I know a lot of people do.
Not a lot of people. Everybody.
Everybody does.
Okay, fine. My friend's little brother, who's like 10 years old, likes
He doesn't
that
know
movie.
movies yet. It's okay.
He likes that
He
movie.
doesn't know movies yet.
Oh my god. He also likes the Amazing Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, the storyline was stupid as
I'm
heck.
still wondering where he got that
With
dry,
great-
clean blanket in the
Oh
sewer.
my god, that's
I'm
the
just saying.
stupidest part that you're focusing on.
It doesn't make any sense.
The stupidest part of the whole movie is literally just how do I say with great power comes great responsibility,
oh my God.
but
To
without
seeing Martin
actually saying
Sheen's
it.
struggle to get around saying with great power comes great responsibility was
But it was
awful.
fine with me. I don't know why they were trying to avoid it so much because that's literally that's the backbone of why
It
Peter Parker.
is, and it does mean a lot to Peter, and in the story sense, it means everything to Peter.
Right.
But for the audience, after you hear the same line over and over again, it kind of starts to lose its meaning.
Oh, I don't care. That's just something that's part of it. You know, you can't be like, oh well, we have to tiptoe around it. Like it's the same stuff with like Batman and how his parents always die. It's
Right.
like, it's storytelling. You have to have it.
Right.
You
That's
know,
why they show it in every single adaptation.
they have to. Otherwise, it's just supposed to be a story. You're supposed to understand where they are now and how they got there.
Yeah,
That's
but
just why.
I feel like sometimes, because like I said, if you see the same thing over and over again, it starts to lose its luster.
Well,
now,
that's not
your
because
parents
of-
dying
well-
is a huge thing anyway.
That's not because of the story. It's because they keep remaking the damn films.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. It's not the storyline's fault. That's what I'm trying to differentiate between is that like the story is fine and I don't mind hearing it. But if they stop making crappy remakes, it wouldn't be such a problem.
If they don't have to keep starting over.
Right. But now they're at a point where they're not starting over anymore. This is the final one. So
For now.
Right, but the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out seems to already have Uncle Ben dead, but I feel like they're still going to cast somebody as Uncle Ben and touch upon it.
Show him getting shot in flashbacks. Come on, Sandman.
I don't know about that.
Come
I feel
on,
like
Sandman.
I don't know. Oh my god. That was the stupidest part.
I
That
didn't
movie
like
would have
that.
been fine if it was without Sandman.
Yeah.
They had to pick between Sandman and Venom and I would have preferred
Well,
Venom.
see, that was the problem with that movie is that he got like a bunch of different people telling him that everybody wanted different things. So I think like he wanted to do Sandman, but then the audience wanted Venom, and then the studios wanted a new like Green Goblin, and he
well,
was
that
like,
was going to happen anyway.
all right, I guess I have to please everybody.
Well, the thing is that the person that was definitely going to come for the next movie was New Goblin, James Franco.
Yeah, right.
That was
'cause the revenge plot line was
It was at
enhanced
the end of
the second
Spider-Man
one,
2.
right.
Yeah, they brought back Willem Dafoe just to do that scene.
which was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. That was the end of Spider-Man 2. So New Goblin was definitely going to be in the film.
Right.
That was definitely going to happen. Now, the conflict between this is why I advocate for Venom. The conflict between Harry and Peter, if you just look at the story evolution there, you've got everybody's seen this movie, so I don't really
Yeah,
spoiler
spoilers just in
alert,
case. Spoilers.
But I mean, it's been out for 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah, I don't like that argument against spoilers, but it doesn't matter. We're saying the spoiler warning now, so
Fine.
back out if you want to.
I just hit that.
Smooth.
Probably something important.
Don't worry about it.
We've got what was I gonna say? We've got the Spider-Man. God, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Harry Osborn. So we've got the whole thing is like. Hang on, I gotta write this down.
Okay. Harry Osborn.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got. God, I'm so stupid right now.
It's okay. All right, let's
I'm
jog your
losing
memory
it.
a
I'm
bit.
losing it.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Harry Osborn.
Yes.
The conflict.
Okay, this is why
advocating for Venom.
This is why I'm advocating it. So the story evolves as Peter essentially trying to ask Mary Jane to marry him, so he has to like fight for this ring like throughout that part I didn't really like. So New Goblin comes out of nowhere and brings Peter into a fight immediately out of revenge because he's so upset about the fact that he learned that he was Spider-Man. So he tries to find him and kill him. That battle ensues, and then New Goblin, Harry almost dies. They have to bring him to the hospital.
Gets amnesia.
That's fine.
I
That's
hate
fine.
amnesia
That's
plot
what
lines.
happens. That's what happens when you get a concussion. That can happen.
No, that's not what I'm questioning. It's just the fact that they had to do it at all.
Okay, fine. So if you get rid of the amnesia, if we had to rewrite the story, we could get rid of the
Okay,
amnesia.
fine. He's
But you needed to
hospitalized.
evolve because that's what spurred the fight later when he had the black suit. Now this is my other thing. Once Harry regains his memory, he starts taking his revenge on Peter by getting with Mary Jane, since there's a conflict between Peter and Mary that I'm not getting into. So
Good call, because you know my theory.
I'm not getting into it.
So sorry,
they get into a fight. So Peter comes by and he's like, "You remember?" And he's like, "Yes." But Peter has the black suit now. So instead of trying to reconcile with Harry, the black suit has corrupted his mind to completely just try and kill Harry.
Right.
So that conflict ensues, and then Peter blows up Harry's face. Now
I
that's
should be laughing, but just the way you said
that's
that.
a good character development, I think, where it's like you can see that Peter is changing into something that he's not.
Right.
And then you've got the whole thing between MJ and Peter, and then that plot line ensues where Peter starts psychologically hurting Mary even more to a point where he's like, "What am I doing?"
Right.
You've got a conflict there. You've got character development. The black suit is hurting him, but also making him stronger, which is really cool and great. But it's not working out as far as his relationships go.
Right.
So he takes it off. He tries to get rid of it. Then the whole the church scene happens where Eddie Brock sees Peter doing this, and then Eddie Brock gets it, and he has revenge against Peter because he's a better photographer.
Right.
So that ensues, and then you've got Venom trying to seek revenge on Peter, while Peter's also trying to reestablish friendships, and then he needs help fighting Venom, so New Goblin comes in and helps him out.
Right.
So that right there.
That would have been a pretty decent, solid storyline.
Right.
Everybody's related. Everyone's relevant.
But the problem with that is that the way that the movie did it is that the way that Peter starts seeing his hatred go up exponentially is through Sandman.
Right.
So now if we tried to rewrite the story with just Sandman, okay, Sandman kills Uncle Ben. That's what actually happened in the movies. That never happened in any comic book.
No, absolutely not. That was completely just for the movie.
It was so stupid.
Well, I mean,
that was the way that they had to shoehorn him in.
Right.
I think that Sandman was so last minute.
Right.
I think Venom was planned, Sandman was not.
Right, because like you said, you just explained exactly how the movie went down, but better because it was less complicated.
There was no Sandman.
Exactly.
I explained
Sandman
it without
was just thrown
Sandman.
in. You're right. That's a good point.
That's how I explained it. I just explained it without
Because
Sandman.
everybody wants revenge on everybody. Because Spider-Man is getting between Sandman and his daughter, and then Venom hates Peter because he's a better photographer, and then Harry hates Peter because he killed his dad. Blah, 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 blah.
Venom doesn't hate Peter because of that. Eddie Brock does.
Eddie Brock, right. Eddie Brock
the symbiote hates Peter because he left him.
Right, you're right. So he's like the...
Jealous.
Yeah, jealous ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, boyfriend.
But, I guess I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so like everybody hates on everybody. Everybody wants revenge on everybody. MJ is just caught in the middle of everything, and now is like on a taxi hanging above the city. This is why you don't date superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually completely with you on that because Sandman. I don't hate what they did with Sandman because it's not like this is the first time that they've changed a villain's origin so then he's related personally to the hero. Because they did this with Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. They made the Joker.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
Why?
Because that's such a good example.
Of a good story or a bad story?
Well, the 90s Batman one was good. I enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was fine. I didn't really like the fact that he killed his parents, but,
Okay.
I mean, if they had to relate it, I guess that works out.
Okay. Also, while we're back on Batman, I like I like how they handled Batman's parents in that movie because
which movie?
the Tim Burton Batman, the first
Okay.
one, because they didn't straight up show like the opening scene wasn't Batman's parents dying.
Okay.
It showed Bruce Wayne being Bruce Wayne. He acts the way he does. He has motivations. We see him as Batman. We see him as Bruce Wayne. We see him, visiting behind the Monarch Theater and leaving flowers there. And Vicky Vale is trying to figure out why is he doing this? Who is this person? Why does he act the way he does?
What?
And
really?
Yeah, and then
But everybody knows why.
not everybody.
Everybody knows
Well, okay,
why.
everybody knows why.
That's like if... I mean, I can't even describe that. They were like multi-billion-dollar people. Gotham was literally run by the Waynes, except for all the crime. But like everything was funded by the Waynes. Everybody knew that. If you didn't know that, then you were just born.
Don't worry about it.
Yesterday. Everybody knows that.
All right, so I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you sure that's the plot line?
that's it. Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a
I mean,
while.
I'll have to watch it again, but last I checked, she has no idea about his parents dying until he explains it, and then they show the scene with, Jack Napier killing his parents.
Crap. Jack Napier?
That's the Joker's alternate name.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh.
It's one of those dumb comic book names.
Jack-
Ooh, Jackanape. Haha.
Jack Nicholson.
That's fun. Yeah, Jack Nicholson, Jack Napier.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually kind of dumb. But everybody loved that movie back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I just tried to eat my mic.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's like segue. You want to get on it?
I don't know how to do this.
Well, actually, let's talk about the Batman vs. Superman intro.
Yeah, right.
Because you said you didn't like that.
I didn't, okay, so going into Batman vs. Superman, I knew that they would have to introduce Batfleck. I knew that they'd have to introduce the new Batman, the way he acts, the way he behaves, whatever. I was expecting them to get to that later or,
Not be in the
like,
opening
mention
scene.
it. But literally the opening scene is them leaving the theater, and I just go,
Well, I think that there are pros and cons to that.
I guess.
Pros, obviously, being you get it out of the way.
Yeah, right.
Pro also being
was a pretty good scene.
it was 10 minutes long
Yeah.
out of a 3-hour film.
Okay, you're right.
They got rid of it pretty quickly. They got it out of the way.
They were just like, all right, here's his origin story real
Yes,
quick. Just
exactly.
you know who this is.
Exactly.
You know what's going to happen.
They
is it.
show it again.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess you're
annoying.
right.
It's great. But that's not the story's fault. That's because it's been rebooted 3
Right.
times.
You're right.
4 or 5 times, actually, if you think about it, because they got different actors.
See, because the thing about remakes and reboots and stuff like that, this conversation always comes up with us. I don't know why, we just keep getting haunted by this remake and reboot like hole that we're stuck in. But the thing about that is that not when you remake something that came out in like the 60s, not everybody who's a new audience member, a new theater goer, a new movie watcher has seen, the original Total Recall from the 80s. Like, have you seen it? There we go. Exactly.
No.
So you remake that, and I mean, I know it didn't take place on Mars, and that was pretty stupid, but it doesn't matter. So you remake it, you get to retell the story, you get to explain his origins again, his motivations. You get to do all that again without having to worry about anybody groaning like, oh, I've seen this all before. But with Batman and Spider-Man, these movies come out every couple of years, and it's always like a new Batman and a new Spider-Man. So the fact that we have to see the same origin like 3 times in the span of like 10 years, that's a lot.
Well, that's why I think we should be giving our money to the people that are doing it right.
Right.
So I never went to see The Amazing Spider-Man when it was in theaters, even though I knew it was supposed to be big.
Right.
Like, they had an entire movie stream for it. I never gave my money to it because I saw the first movie and I just did not like
They
it.
advertised it as like the story never told or something, which is
Right.
funny because this has definitely been a story that was told before.
It's just like, I think that if we give our money to the correct people, the studios will realize what they're doing wrong. So that's why I paid to see Batman versus Superman, because I knew that this was the final reboot that we were going to see.
Right.
That's it. There's
and if
not
it flopped, then they probably would have tried again or not tried again.
No, they've already got... I mean, DC's already in a point where they need to make a cinematic universe, so even if it flopped, they would have probably still made the movies, unless they literally are losing millions of dollars in money. But if we check, they made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They made a bunch of money off that.
It's not apparent that they're going to not be doing these movies anymore. But if... like, the... Christopher Nolan movies. I never saw those in theaters. I did see The Dark Knight Rises, though, twice. Because The Dark Knight was so good. Batman Begins was all right. I mean, honestly, I really hated Christian Bale.
Really?
I hated him.
I didn't start not liking him until...
It became more apparent in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I think I might be with you on
But
that.
I hated that movie, too. I hated it.
You hated it?
I hated it.
Really?
Terrible.
Why'd you hate it so much?
Talia, Bane, Roz, done. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Really?
Terrible. Terrible characters. Terrible development.
Even the Lazarus Pit?
Terrible. There was no Lazarus Pit. Terrible. Everything was terrible about that movie.
There was a Lazarus Pit.
No, there was not. There was the pit. It was not a Lazarus Pit.
Okay.
Yep. Not.
We're not having this argument right now. We'll save this for another time.
We've been having this argument since this movie has come out.
We have. And
So I think you think it's what, metaphorical or symbolic?
No, I have a metaphorical. I just think it's his cinematic
you
version.
think that Christopher Nolan specifically made that the Lazarus Pit?
Yes.
Even though it's nothing like the comic or even remotely
absolutely.
like it at all.
Because he's creating his own world based off of these characters and
But
these ideas.
it's nothing like it. Like, I could make, the Lazarus, like, I could literally dig a hole and be like, that's my version of the pit. And then you would be like, oh, well, that's his interpretation of it.
That's the thing, though, is that if you just made a hole, if there was a hole, Batman fell in it, twisted his ankle, and then he came out of it and fixed his ankle.
I could see you making a defense.
You could make
against
an
it.
argument, but if
that-
it was literally just a hole in the... Okay.
It is just a hole in the
That's not 100%
ground.
intentional, but yeah, if that was his intention, then yes, that's...
Okay, great. That was it. It was just a hole in the ground. That's what it was. That's where these prisoners were kept. That's what it was.
Yes,
not
and
everybody
then they rose out of it and were rejuvenated. They
Not
were new
everybody.
people.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, but if you did, such as Bane,
But no,
Ra's al Ghul,
but
Batman,
this is those are the big 3. But everybody else died.
everybody else sucks. I don't know.
That's incorrect. That's not how the Lazarus Pit works.
Yeah, not in the comics, but in Nolan's universe.
That is not. Oh my God. That just doesn't make sense.
Hey, leave your thoughts in the comments
comments.
or
Do you think that the pit
tweet
in,
us or something.
Yeah, no, definitely in the comments. Just like think, this is an argument we've had for a while.
It really
is. The
is.
pit in The Dark Knight Rises the Lazarus Pit metaphorically or actually? I think you could make an argument that it's metaphorical, but I think it's just a big hole in the ground. That's all it is. It's just a hole in the ground.
That's fair.
Plot development. I think that's it. I think it's just plot convenience, something to get the movie going.
All right.
What was I gonna say? So
Dark
I
Knight
never
Rises,
liked those
yeah.
movies. I never liked The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight I will still watch because Heath Ledger was a really great Joker in that movie.
absolutely.
I mean, the storyline in that was okay. The Dark Knight Rises just didn't have a good storyline. Batman Begins was all right, but I just don't like Christian Bale as Batman at all. I just don't like it. So I never gave my money to those movies.
And I know
besides
that
The Dark
people
Knight.
give his voice a lot of crap, but like there's a reason
my
for it.
God.
Because in the first movie it was fine. He made it raspy, but it wasn't like
Well,
it wasn't like super bad.
This is my
You know what I mean?
problem with the voice. I understand that he needs to disguise his voice. Fair enough. He needs to do it.
Yeah.
But the way that Batman versus Superman did it is that he actually has like a voice synthesizer in order to make it different.
Yeah.
Which I really like. I don't like the fact that they were like that's so stupid. It is
Chris,
so
you just
dumb.
change your voice. You mean like this? Oh, good. That actually sounds really good. I like that. Keep that for the second movie. Actually, you know
No.
what? Make it better.
Yeah. No, it's so stupid. It is so dumb. I mean, he's never had to do that before.
No,
They
absolutely not.
only brought this up in the movies. Like the animated series, he still had his normal voice.
Right.
Which
His
is so
awesome
iconic.
Kevin Conroy voice.
Yes, exactly, which is totally great. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. I don't like the Christopher Nolan movies around. I don't like Christian Bale as Batman because of that voice. It's so stupid.
Wow.
I also don't, but that's why I'm okay with it being in Batman versus Superman because they did it right.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't sound like a dingus. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't just sound
He
like
doesn't
he's,
sound like he just got punched in the jaw.
Yeah.
It's
no, in
just
the throat.
Or
It doesn't
you
sound
know,
like he got
both.
punched in
Why
the
not
throat.
both?
And it sounds creepy. It actually does sound interesting.
Why are the other drugs going?
Oh my
Remember that
God.
sketch? Speaking of other YouTube
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
college humor.
people, the bad man.
Yeah,
they
something
call it?
like
Yeah,
that.
those-
Yeah,
those
because he
sketches
was
are great.
he was just trying to figure out how to use his voice, so he starts going like,
Where are the other drugs going? I think it's
or
just like Jimmy
"Where are
Stewart at
the
one
other
point.
no. He starts high.
Yeah.
Where are the other drugs going?
Where are the other drugs going, governor? Like he just
Oh
starts
my
doing
God!
accents.
Wait, no, there was that other part too. He was like, "Who are you? I'm Bruce Wayne."
Damn it, drops him.
He just drops the villain. That's what I liked about. That's what I liked about the new Batman too. Is that he doesn't care that he kills people.
Yeah.
Which is exactly his roots.
Which I like how, because there was probably a whole discussion about this, because I'm sure, not Sam Raimi, Zack Snyder was like, all right, so we're going to let Batman kill people. Thoughts? And then everybody in the room
producers.
just discusses that.
Yeah, and they're like,
and I
okay.
like how they were able to narrow it down to he only kills when it's not easier, but like if there's a guy in the car with a machine gun and he's like
And he
killing
just
everybody,
uses his rockets.
it's easier to just
Yeah.
blow up the car than it is to try to take everyone down
And just kill 'em.
peacefully.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when he had to save Superman's mom.
Right.
That's
Like
a
he
spoiler.
beats all those. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Oopsie.
Lots of spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Go back in time. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
so it's like
he's in that warehouse. He's punching people. He's breaking people's arms. But
Yeah.
then a guy with a grenade comes in.
yeah, and he
instead
just straight
of-
up kills him.
Yeah, he just kicks him into a room with a grenade.
Yeah.
Like that's
Which works out. You know, there are moments. I think it's just. I guess you could say it is if it's easier.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, I would agree.
like if it's safer too. Even then.
I don't know about safer.
Yeah, because like if you had to peacefully take out the guy with the machine gun on the back of a truck, how would you go about that if you're in the Batmobile?
Okay, fair enough. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's safer.
You'd be out and about on a moving truck. Having
I mean,
to
there's
take
no
out a bunch of guys'
safe way to blow up a car.
Well, okay, that's a fair argument. That's
So
absolutely right.
let's say that. But yeah, yeah, I think it's only when it's necessary. What else? Yeah, we talking about reboots. All right, we got another segue here. Is there anything want to hop on it?
Every time you say segue, I just think of that little.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm trying
the
to.
two-
That's what
oh,
I'm
really? Just
referencing,
hop
yeah.
on the segue.
Yes,
Can
that's
two
what I'm
people fit on those?
I mean, if I hold you close enough, yeah,
Just the two of us.
we
Can make it if we copyright
try.
infringement. Anyway,
Yeah, hope I don't have to edit that.
I think we
out.
can't sing more than like 5 seconds of a song or something.
I think that's true. Yeah,
That's
so
actually the
I don't
restrictions.
feel like having to edit. I'm still a very newbie at this.
Don't worry about it.
So I've just
Um,
figured out how to kind of master the tone because at one point we sounded like garbage.
We sounded like, why are the other drugs going? Like that was what we sounded like.
Yeah, we were like clipping all the time. I mean, Kevin.
Where's Rachel?
There was a guy that we know. His name was Kevin Nessler. He has he has a show here at the Pulse as well. And he actually interviewed Penguin Zero.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
And it really was. And one of the buddies on that podcast thing actually uploaded Kevin's edited version, but it just sounds like garbage.
It
I
really
mean,
does.
you can still hear everybody pretty decently, but like I feel like the reason that Penguin didn't upload it to his channel and somebody else did was because the fact that the audio quality was just
He's like, this is literally trash. I
Yeah.
can't take this.
right. Wow, that was pretty good.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was really good.
I am Penguin Zero.
There you go. Yeah. What is his name? Charles? Do
Was
you know
it?
what he looks like?
No, I've never
He's a
seen.
super buff white dude.
Is he?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is he really?
He is super buff. Holy crap.
Is he really?
Yes,
Super
he
buff?
is super buff.
I kind of want to look this up now.
I mean, you're not going to find it.
Oh,
It's
really?
very well. We'll look it up later. I'll show
Okay,
you
yeah.
later. But
Yeah,
it's
I'll
very
look
it's very hard to find. But yeah, he's super buff. Because Game Grumps actually referenced him. Or was it Game Grumps? It was somebody. I was watching some YouTuber and they were talking about him and they were just like, yeah, he's like super buff.
Wow.
I think it was Game Grumps because they were like, what's Penguin Zero like in real life? And he's like, oh, he's buff as heck. Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that, like that makes sense. Just because like the sound of his voice just sounds like this.
I never got that. I always
Really?
just imagined him as like some really pale white kid
Really?
in a basement. Yeah, because just literally he sounds so edgy. I love him. I love your
No,
videos.
absolutely.
If you ever actually hear this, but your videos.
Wow,
are great.
that was very like you're listening to this, right, Penguin? Right?
I don't
You're
know.
listening
I
to
hope
us?
that he is.
I'd
I'd
be
like
kind
to
of cool if
think.
he just ran into us.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Any YouTuber.
He's just like, yeah, I remember doing that interview with that random kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
It was pretty good. I did listen to it. They did have some pretty interesting stuff to talk about. Kevin did a pretty good job hosting that. Shout out to DJ Hazard. Is that his name?
Yeah, DJ Hazard.
Yeah, DJ Hazard. He's very good. You should listen to his show too. But yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
segue something.
Oh my God, stop
got
doing that to
something
me. Superhero news.
We can also kind of talk about other stuff, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, we'll try to stay on topic generally. I
Sure,
mean,
so
like
what
general
other-
pop culture media.
This is.
Why do you keep kicking that?
There's a pen on the ground.
You're an idiot. Why'd you throw it at me?
I don't know.
Fill in dead air. Is that why you threw it at me?
Fair enough.
Thanks. So let's talk about movies that are coming out. I am excited for Kong, Skull Island.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard.
I know
anything
you.
about that movie.
You've said that you've sheltered yourself from this.
I haven't
not on
sheltered
not
it.
on purpose. Like
Yeah.
you just haven't seen
I
anything
just
about
haven't
this movie.
seen anything for it.
Wow.
I really have not. When is the movie coming out?
I don't even know. But Sam Jackson's in it. Tom Hiddleston's in
Samuel
it.
Jackson.
Sam Jackson's in it. Tom Hiddleston's in it.
What is he gonna die in the first 10 minutes like Bryan Cranston?
Wait, I just realized there are 3 people from the MCU in that movie, because it's Tom Hiddleston who's Loki, Sam Jackson who's Nick Fury, and what's the name of that one actor? Step Brothers, but not Will Ferrell.
Oh, John C. Reilly.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's in it too, and he was in Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy. So that's interesting. It's really weird. But yeah, no, because they're trying to set up another cinematic universe, guys. Yay!
Well, what else is in that universe?
They're actually trying to introduce Godzilla into it.
Which Godzilla?
The new one that came out, the one with Bryan Cranston.
No.
Yep, they're trying to do that.
Uh.
Also, the next movie, oh god, this is weird too, because the next Godzilla movie is supposed to have Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah in it. So there's like,
Spider-Man 3.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about, because I'm all
Yeah.
down. I'm totally down for seeing a remake of an old classic Godzilla monster.
What
I'm definitely down for that.
happens? I got a quick question for
Yeah,
you
hit-
personally.
Hit me up.
What happens when you see Mothra?
Oh my god, stop. Okay, I hate you.
So this is some background info.
Can we not introduce this to
All
the
right,
public?
you guys know arachnophobia. Well, Max has Mothraphobia.
Okay, it's not Mothraphobia. Mothra I
Oh.
can handle. I'd be afraid of Mothra the same way I'm afraid of any other giant monster.
Are you sure?
Yes, I do not look at Mothra and say, a moth. I say, oh, a giant monster that can kill me and eat
Right,
me, and
right.
have little babies that can also kill me and eat me.
But like you see him on screen, he's not really that big.
Okay, then yeah, so I don't freak out, because all I've seen of Mothra is like a puppet that flaps its wings.
We went to Colorado, and there was a
Stop.
moth inside of our buddy's car. And so he kind of freaked out, and the moth flew out. Then we went on our little adventure. Then we got back, and there happened to be maybe another moth.
It was
that
the same
around.
one. It came back. I swear to
no,
God.
yeah,
it came back.
He believes that it was trying to kill him.
I don't think they're gonna kill me. That's
They
not
don't do
the
anything.
fear.
Oh man, then you would have hated the room I stayed in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to the Virginia, I think I've told you this before, but we stayed at a house that was being rented out, and there were moths in the corner. Like I was sitting in my room on my laptop with the light on, and it was started flickering. It was really weird. So I look over there. I'm like, what is going on? And there's a moth. There's one. So I kill it. I squish it. It's gone. Dead. Its guts are on the wall. I was kind of pissed about that, so I just squished it with my foot and left its carcass there. And then,
Wow.
yeah. And then I'm on my computer. Half hour later, I start seeing fluttering again. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm pretty sure I killed that moth. I get over there. There's another moth. There was like 2 of them.
You
there
kill
this time.
one, 2 take its place.
Yes.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah,
That's
and
how
then
they
I
work.
And then I killed them, and then I was done seeing
So
moths, and then I picked up
gross.
their bodies, and that was about it.
So gross.
They're fine.
They're so gross. They're furry little monstrosities, and
Do
I
you
hate
know?
them.
Do you know that SpongeBob episode with the caterpillar?
Yeah, that freaked me out when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think that
me out
might
too.
be the origin of that. When they zoomed in on the butterfly's face, I think that might have been the origin of my fear.
Well, see, the thing is that I learned that if I muted that part, it didn't bother me as much.
They just showed like a butterfly freaking because like
Yeah.
there was a loud like bzzz sound
Yeah,
effect that
which
they added.
butterflies don't make,
No, absolutely not. But
which I thought was so
it
interesting.
was to make it more intense. So
Yeah.
you could feel the fear that they were experiencing.
right.
That
but
whole
there,
episode is me.
there is no fear to it. I mean, I even freaked out about the spider bite in Tobey Maguire movie.
Yeah. Oh, right, because they zoom in on the
Yeah.
spider's face. You actually don't like spiders, though.
That's true,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't like anything where they zoom in on their face like that.
Right.
Like that's why I didn't like the SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I liked the episode. I didn't like that part.
I think the spiders' faces make people uncomfortable because I used
I
to
think
have.
bug
I
faces.
love bug. No,
I
because
hate
I
bug
love
faces.
bugs when I was a kid. So
Nah.
like there was a book that I had where every chapter focused on a different species, and it would zoom in on their face. So it was like a mosquito really close up. Oh, that's cool. A beetle really close up. Oh, that's really pretty. Oh, look at this. This is really cool. And then as soon as I got to the spider, it was like big black eyes and it had the fangs and whatever. It was like really close up. It just freaked me out when I was a kid.
Okay.
So yes, thank you for bringing up my irrational fear of moths. I really appreciate that.
Well, I would kind of like to wrap things up now. It has been an hour.
That's fine. I think that's a good note to
yeah,
end
I
on.
think that is a good note because I don't want to make these too long for people because I know that Penguins' podcasts are like an hour.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, and I even though we get an hour and a half, you know, it's kind of weird.
No, I'm with you.
situation. So why don't we wrap things up? This
Definitely.
has been another. Well, this is for you guys. It'll be the first, but this has been another episode of Clash of the
Clash
Comics. But I will be uploading these to YouTube. We will try to have an episode every week. We'll do different themes. If you have any suggestions of themes or characters that we should do or ways that we should conduct our fight differently, like if you had a comment to say about one of the fights that we did and maybe somebody else should have won, we'll look into it. But, you know, it's great to hear some input.
So yes, thank you very much.
We've got Twitter handles as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be posting these everywhere. I mean, I've got a Facebook as well. I probably won't be posting it on my Facebook, though. I'll put it on Twitter. At the Power 404, I'll put a link for it. I'll promote this on YouTube, stuff like that. I'll try to do my best to just get it out there.
Everybody needs to see this.
They will. I mean, everybody will. Well, we have to design a logo yet.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been another episode. I am David DJ Soup Spoon,
Yeah, we gotta do our DJ.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm Max, aka DJ Stone Fox.
and we will see you guys hopefully next week on another episode of Clash of the Comics.
And remember, everybody, stay super.